Among the world's most powerful men, jets are more than transport. They're statements of dominance. And Donald Trump's billion-dollar aircraft didn't just turn heads. It stunned Vladimir Putin. It was sleek. It was bold. And it carried the unmistakable swagger of its owner long before the wheels touched the runway. While most presidential jets are built to withstand war, Trump's jet was built to command attention, not from radar towers, but from the world. They called it Trump Force One, and from the moment it emerged in full view, polished to a mirror shine, the Trump name gleaming across its fuselage, it was clear this wasn't just a private plane. It was a message that power doesn't have to whisper. It can fly. While Air Force One represents tradition and protocol, Trump Force One was a custom-crafted monument to personal opulence and unapologetic dominance. Air Force One carries a nation. Trump's jet carried a brand. Inside, it was presidential, but not in the way Washington defined it. While President Putin's IL-96-300PU is fitted like a war bunker, lined with armor, military-grade comms, and surveillance-proof walls, Trump's jet is another story. It doesn't just repel threats. It attracts gazes. There's a reason even Vladimir Putin, a leader known for his taste in war-ready tech, reportedly paused at the sheer elegance of Trump's aircraft. No camouflage, no curtains, just cream leather, gold buckles, and confidence that echoed louder than any missile defense system. From the moment the jet door opens, everything is choreographed. The engine hum softens, the staircase glides down, and the red carpet doesn't roll out. It unfolds from 30,000 feet in the sky. Trump steps out, not just as a former U.S. president, but as a billionaire brand in motion. The world watched as this jet became a traveling empire, flying not just to summits and rallies, but into the headlines. Wherever it landed, cameras followed, heads turned, and even other presidents noticed. For a man whose life is a performance of wealth, style, and dominance, this jet wasn't an accessory. It was a throne with wings. And when it soared above cities, slicing through clouds at 500 miles per hour, it carried more than luggage and aids. It carried a message. This is what power looks like when it's personalized. Inside Trump Force One. Step inside Trump Force One, and you're stepping into another world. One where the sky isn't the limit, but the runway for a lifestyle carved in gold. This isn't just a Boeing 757. It's a flying palace built to reflect the life of a man who never settles for ordinary. Every inch of the aircraft radiates personal power, precision, and a level of wealth that doesn't whisper, it declares. As you walk to the cabin, the first thing that hits you is the quiet, soft, luxurious silence, insulated from the chaos of the world below. Then come the details. Italian leather chairs, hand-stitched in cream and adorned with custom embroidery, polished with paneling with finish so rich it reflects light like glass. And then the gold, not accents, not hints, real 24-karat gold-plated fixtures on the seatbelt buckles, the light switches, even the lavatory faucets. Where other billionaires opt for minimalist design, Trump leans into opulence with the certainty of someone who's always lived above the fold. In the center of the jet sits the private bedroom, a space more suited to a penthouse than a plane. King-size bed, silk-lined bedding, velvet-trimmed headboards, and a personal entertainment center that houses a 57-inch home cinema screen. This is not rest in transit. This is royalty at cruising altitude. Step further, and you reach the master suite. More than a room. It's a mobile strategy den. Oversized armchairs for meetings, retractable tables for in-flight briefings, and mood lighting programmed to match time zones as he crosses continents. A space designed to project dominance while maintaining comfort. Even the bathroom reads like a billionaire spa. Full marble finishes, gold-trimmed mirrors, an air filtration system more advanced than some hospitals. But the real secrets lie in the tech, the kind you won't see in the glossy photos. Custom-designed electronics quietly embedded into the walls and consoles allow for encrypted communications, secure video calls, and even real-time surveillance feeds. It's a flying command palace, re-engineered after his presidency to act as both retreat and headquarters. Whether in New York skies or gliding above international waters, Trump Force One doesn't just fly. It operates. As private as a bunker, as luxurious as a palace, and as calculated as a campaign. It's the aircraft of man who always prepares to land with impact. This is Trump's world at 30,000 feet, and for a man who built towers with his name in gold, it only makes sense his aircraft would be no different. The tech arsenal on board. Trump Force One may shine with gold, but beneath its polished surface lies something far more strategic. A silent fortress in the sky. Behind the velvet cushions and marble trims is a high-tech arsenal that rivals even some heads of state. Because for Donald Trump, luxury isn't just about comfort, it's about control. Long before his presidential run, upgrades to the 757 were underway. Not just cosmetic ones, but systems built for a new kind of power. It's been widely speculated that the jet was equipped with advanced radar jamming technology as early as 2015, a feature designed not for flash, but for defense, allowing a plane to quietly pass through sensitive airspace without leaving a digital trace. And while the cockpit boasts state-of-the-art avionics, it's the back of the plane where things become presidential. Tucked discreetly into the walls and armrests are secure communication panels, enabling satellite-based encrypted phone lines. Trump could, if needed, reach foreign leaders from 38,000 feet, with no interruptions and no leaks. Sources close to former staffers suggest that anti-hacking software, developed in cooperation with private tech security firms, was installed during the jet's post-presidency refurbishment, a protective shield not only around the plane's navigation systems, but around every message, every signal, and every word spoken mid-flight. There's also the air itself. The purification system on board filters pathogens and toxins at a level far above standard aviation norms. It's not just luxury, it's strategic hygiene, designed to ensure Trump stayed healthy while shaking hands with the world. And in case the skies ever turn hostile, the jet is said to be outfitted with a defensive suite that includes missile evasion protocols and blackout-capable windows, allowing the aircraft to disappear from visual sightlines in seconds. No detail is random. Every feature serves a dual purpose: elegance and security, style and readiness. From the touchscreen control panels to the hush-quiet audio suppression that keeps every conversation confidential, this jet is more than a mobile office. It's an airborne command post. Trump Force One may gleam like a showroom masterpiece, but beneath its gold lies the heart of a machine built for a man who never leaves anything to chance. King Salman's jet diplomacy. When most leaders travel, their aircraft follows protocol. But when King Salman takes the skies, it's diplomacy wrapped in royal luxury. His jet isn't just a method of transport. It's a flying message of dominance, wealth, and kingdom-scale influence. In 2017, during his state visit to Indonesia, the world watched in disbelief as King Salman's private Boeing 747 touched down, accompanied by a fleet of cargo planes and over 500 tons of luggage. Gold-trimmed escalators, luxury limousines, and custom-built entourage quarters were flown in separately. This wasn't just arrival, it was arrival as theater. Observers quickly realized King Salman doesn't step onto global stages, he lands on them. It became even clearer at the G20 summits, where his aircraft was often parked alongside the likes of Trump's gleaming 757 and Putin's military-fitted Ilyushin. But while others played defense or diplomacy, King Salman's aircraft projected kingdom. Its sheer size, gleaming gold-accented livery, and towering air stare were not just symbols, they were statements. A silent flex from the heart of Riyadh. And perhaps the most unforgettable moment came during his visit to Malaysia, when the jet's descent was accompanied by fighter jet escorts and a ceremonial water salute. The runway became a red carpet, the sky a stage. King Salman's team understands something many don't. Power is not only spoken, it's choreographed. His aircraft's landings are timed, angles are calculated for camera shots, and every disembarkation is filmed like a cinematic event. When he steps out, robes flowing, sunglasses fixed, flanked by elite security. The imagery echoes across news cycles. Even within the region, his aircraft flyovers signal more than movement. Whether arriving for high-level Gulf summits or religious diplomacy in Morocco, the jet always casts a long shadow, sometimes literally. Like Trump, King Salman has mastered the use of air travel not just for convenience, but as visual leverage. The aircraft isn't just a plane, it's a throne in motion, one built not only for comfort, but for command. In the skies, power isn't just who flies fastest, it's who lands hardest. And when King Salman descends, the world notices. Trump Force One is more than just an aircraft. It's a billion-dollar symbol of personal branding, presidential legacy, and unmatched wealth in motion. What began as a commercial Boeing 757 was reborn into a one-of-a-kind flying palace, redesigned to match the scale and ambition of its owner. And behind its gold-plated finishes and presidential polish lies a price tag that stunned even Trump's critics. Originally acquired in 2011 for a reported $95 million, the aircraft underwent a dramatic transformation. The rebranding wasn't cosmetic. It was architectural. Entire sections were gutted and rebuilt to Trump's exact standards. From the marble-finished bathrooms and mahogany accents to the customized seating upholstered in the finest Italian leather, every detail was tailored for visual impact and personal indulgence. The total cost of custom refits, according to aviation insiders, easily surpassed $100 million. Add to that the electronic suite, luxury surveillance tech, and aesthetic upgrades done post-presidency, and the valuation of Trump Force One reaches a staggering estimate of nearly $1 billion. Not just in hardware, but in symbolic weight. But owning such an empire in the sky comes with a royal upkeep. Each year, maintaining Trump Force One requires between $3 to $5 million. That includes round-the-clock mechanics, a security team trained in both physical and cyber defense, elite pilots, private hangar access, and international insurance protection few can even qualify for. It's a private operation that mirrors a government one, with no taxpayer funding. By contrast, Air Force One, America's official presidential jet, costs an estimated $200,000 per flight hour to operate, funded by the U.S. government. Trump's jet is leaner, sleeker, but just as intentional. It was built to outshine, not outgun. And far across the globe, another global figure was watching closely. President Xi Jinping of China flies aboard a modified Boeing 747-400 operated by Air China. Outwardly, it appears ordinary. Inside is a labyrinth of hidden security features, classified communication rooms, and war-ready electronics built in secrecy by China's military. But here's the difference. Xi's aircraft moves in silence. No branding, no spotlight. It blends in with commercial traffic. Trump's, by contrast, gleams in full view. One is camouflage, the other is a stage. Yet both jets serve the same mission. Control perception, project dominance, and protect the throne, even when it's airborne. In the world of elite aviation, cost isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in presence. And Trump Force One doesn't just arrive, it conquers. When Donald Trump's jet touched down at the Singapore summit in 2018, it wasn't just the beginning of historic diplomacy. It was a direct contrast in power, precision, and presentation. Because just hours later, Kim Jong-un's aircraft followed, and the differences couldn't have been more striking. Kim arrived aboard the Alyoshin Il-62, a Soviet-era jet that looked frozen in time, outdated, gray, and escorted by mid-range fighter jets. The aircraft was functional but unremarkable, more symbol of isolation than opulence. In a world where optics shape influence, Kim's jet was quiet. Trump's, on the other hand, roared. Trump Force One glided in earlier that day with presidential grace and billionaire polish. Its signature livery, the gleaming Trump name along the fuselage, gold-plated fixtures, and gleaming underbelly reflected the sky like a mirror. Even before the summit began, one thing was clear. Trump had already made his statement. International media noticed. The headlines weren't just about diplomacy. They were about aircraft, about the differences in wealth, presentation, and projection. For Kim Jong-un, whose leadership thrives on secrecy and propaganda, the outdated Il-62 became a liability. For Trump, the aircraft became an extension of his negotiating table. The contrast was so stark that aviation analysts across Asia openly debated why North Korea's leader hadn't upgraded. Some speculated that Kim didn't trust newer jets. Others believed it was a symbolic choice, to show that simplicity was strength. But when the cameras rolled, perception took over. And perception leaned heavily toward the jet with a cinema screen and marble bathroom. even behind closed doors. Sources suggest that members of Kim's team asked for information on the modifications Trump had made to his 757. From its communication tech to interior design, they were curious, not because they planned to replicate it, but because they knew the message it sent. And the message was clear. Modern power isn't just measured in nuclear warheads. It's measured in arrival. Around the world, leaders took note. Trump's jet became more than transport. It became strategy, a way to command the room before ever stepping into it. Because when two planes land back-to-back and one looks like a Cold War relic, while the other gleams like a billionaire's dream, the game has already begun. And Trump didn't just win the optics. He controlled the skies. It was never just a plane. It was a statement, a billion-dollar signature etched into the sky. Sleek, golden, and unmistakably Trump, this jet became more than transportation. It became a moving monument to a man who never played by the rules of politics or luxury. Where others built legacies and legislation, Trump built his in design, in polish, in presentation. Every inch of Trump Force One reflects the boldness that defined his presidency and the branding that built his empire. From its gleaming exterior to its gold-plated fixtures, the jet was a flying biography of America's most unconventional leader. And it still flies. Long after the motorcade faded from Pennsylvania Avenue and the final rally lights dimmed, Trump Force One continues to cut through clouds, symbolizing not an ending, but a legacy in motion. It flies from Mar-a-Lago to Manhattan, from strategy sessions to private retreats, carrying not just Trump, but the mythos of his name. Because some build monuments on land. Trump built his in the sky, and as the jet glides across a blood-orange sunset, wings glowing against the final light, it leaves behind more than vapor. It leaves a mark on how power moves, how luxury speaks, and how presidents, at least one, chose to fly. If you were stunned by Trump's jet, wait until you see the one that made world leaders scramble for upgrades. Subscribe now for more exclusive looks into the luxury and power behind the world's most elite.